It's Monday, April 2nd, 2012. Thank you for joining us for another transmission. It's InfoWars Nightly News. Coming up tonight, we'll interview Mark Moreno of ClimateDepot.com. The globalists are calling for the arrest, imprisonment, or psychiatric imprisonment of anyone questioning their plan for Agenda 21 global governance under the guise of environmental crises. Homeland Security is targeting anti-abortion activists as domestic terrorists. We've got huge news out of Arizona, where they're also restricting the First Amendment, saying you'll be arrested if you use cuss words on the internet, and more. Welcome, my fellow info warriors and lovers of liberty, those of you that hate darkness, tyranny, and oppression. We're here yet again, thanks to the good Lord above and your support. It is Monday, April 2nd, 2012, and this is yet another edition of InfoWars Nightly News. Let's jump straight into our top headlines. Then later, Mark Moreno of Climate Depot and others are going to be joining us. First off, Homeland Security targets anti-abortion activists as domestic terrorists. They're saying if they protest out in front of abortion clinics, the killing of children, that they should be arrested for stalking. And now the federal government, through different groups, is calling for killing children up to age 3 who are healthy. So now if you don't want to kill that little baby there on screen, you'll have to get arrested as a stalker, I guess. And I have a video clip here dealing with this from the 1980s. I also have videos from the 90s where the federal government came into local police departments and funded them to billy club, to break arms, to attack peaceful demonstrators out front abortion clinics with their arms being broken. This is called pain compliance. And federal and state courts have ruled you can taser, you can billy club, you can break arms as pain compliance. It's not torture breaking your arm, it's pain compliance. When you taser somebody to make them answer questions, it's not a violation of the Fifth Amendment. It's pain compliance. So here is a clip from our film, Martial Law, that came out in 2005, detailing how the First Amendment right of anti-abortion advocates, who are about 70% of the public in America, by the way, even if they were 1%, I'd support their free speech. But this is a majority view being violated by the eugenicists. They want to make sure that the slaughter of babies continues. So let's go ahead and go to this clip. The reason the elite is selling us on torture is because they want to condition us to where we will accept its use against us. And it's been going on for decades in America, in the prisons, and against pro-life demonstrators, environmental activists, and anyone else that doesn't totally submit to their tyranny. The footage you're seeing is from the late 1980s and early 1990s, where the police openly pulled out nunchucks, started wrapping it around the arms of peaceful pro-life demonstrators and brutally breaking them, simply because they refused to get off the side of the sidewalk. The police thought it was their right to break people's arms because they didn't follow their orders.
They used nunchucks on the rescuers. This is an illegal martial arts weapon, and merely possessing one in California is a felony. To be attacked with one is assault with a deadly weapon. Never before in the history of America have nunchucks been used on non-violent protesters. This is the gruesome sight of what happened. The police, in unprovoked cruelty, wrapped the nunchucks around Michael Hausman's arm and broke it. When lawyers went to federal Judge Tashima to request he order the police to cease using them, he denied the request, saying in so many words that pro-lifers could not prove they were in any danger.
I can't tell you what it's like to be lying on the ground with police officers on top of you, using all sorts of torture holds to make you walk. You can't walk even if you wanted to walk, and their sole intent is to torture you, and then listening to the screams of the people.
When you bring out riot sticks, it's usually because you expect to see some serious opposition, so you put on helmets and you put on face masks and you carry shields. These policemen were bareheaded.
But here it was calculated torture, and the policemen were enjoying the pain. They laughed at the people screaming, and all of us screaming, all grown men, mature men. You couldn't help but scream. What happened was when the two nightsticks squeezed on the wrists, they cut off the nerve ends and the flow of blood, and your hands swelled up to almost twice the size, and they turned black.
It didn't matter whether you were a woman, a man, an old person. It didn't matter what your age, sex, or anything, that they were just there. They were going to brutalize everybody. And I think probably to the women more particularly, that they were very angry that they couldn't get a young woman like myself to walk. And I could tell that it was a pride issue.
This is an important illustration because it shows us how long this tyranny has been going on in this country. And if they can get away with it with one group, they can get away with it against everybody. The fact of the matter is, the establishment and its enforcers have been setting the precedent for a long time to torture women in plain view of the public, to use illegal nunchucks and break people's arms. And now in Iraq, they have these big live TV shows with all the people confessing after they've been openly tortured. And in 2005, people they take into hospitals who refuse drug tests are restrained and then tasered repeatedly until they go ahead and urinate in a cup. And there are hundreds and hundreds of examples we don't even have time to cover here. The point is, this is all macabre and terrifying, and the New World Order is conditioning us to accept it. We must resist it. All this is a playground for cowardly freaks who want to engage in torture. Breaking men and women's arms, grabbing women's breasts, torturing them, the police smiling, it's a great joke. We got a bunch of Christians that are peaceful. Break their arms. Oh, land of the free, home of the brave. But don't worry, police, you've all been injected with cancer viruses. I know, laugh now, die later. The globalists have already killed you as well. You think the dark powers have given you this evil just so you can have fun? You are nothing but instruments of your own destruction. So enjoy.